Hello and welcome to Spirit Forest. Today you're going to learn the easiest way to set up a tarp. Let me show you. So what do you need for this tarp hanging? Well, the first thing you need is a tarp. So you're going to need to get a tarp, and I like my tarp that I'm going to show you in this video. I think that it works really well. However, it's cheap. You know, it's a cheap tarp, but I use it all the time. So my other one, like, I seriously use it every weekend, and it's just starting now to leak. So you know, I'd say it's a pretty good tarp if you want to use it every once in a while. Have it in your pack for whenever you need it, or if you go backpacking every now and then and you just want a tarp, it's a really good tarp. So I will link to the tarp below. I'm not being sponsored by them. It's a tarp that I've used, and it's cheap and it works. Okay, you need a tarp. And the second thing you need is paracord. I don't care what kind of paracord. There's tons of paracord that you can get. But you know, totally up to you what kind that you want. This is the kind I have. I also had a thicker one before that I use in some of my other videos. This just happens to be what I have on my land currently right now for me to show you. And with your paracord, how much do you need? You need about, well, in my I teach wilderness classes to women, and I tell them to bring 50 feet of paracord. That's going to give you plenty of paracord to play with, some extra too, because it really depends on how far the trees are together, how much paracord that you're going to use. 50 feet is probably going to be pretty good for you. And then what I want you to do with your paracord is I want you to cut them, or I want you to cut 4 pieces about this far apart. I don't know, maybe that's just a little bit over a foot. You can go a little bit more if you want to, not a big deal, but don't go any smaller than that. So it's about a foot. Again, you're going to cut 4 of these this size with your paracord, and again, you can burn the ends. Another thing that you're going to need is some sticks. I call them toggles sometimes, a stick. You're going to need a stick. So you will need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 sticks, you know, so just look around. If you're tying them to a tree anyways, there should be a stick around. So usually I just kind of find 4 of them, I stick them in my pocket, and then I use them for later, you know. Okay, let's get started on how to tie this. So the first thing that you're going to do is you want to create a loop. I don't really care how you create a loop, but you want to create a loop. This is how I do it. So I there's my loop, and all I'm going to do is just tie a simple knot. I'm just doing like a simple like overhand knot that we learned in kindergarten when we were tying our shoes. There we go, we got a loop. You see the loop? I'm going to do it one more time. Let's see. One more time. Come on, I gotta untie it. Okay. So I got my paracord. I'm at the end of my longer piece. This is my longer piece. I don't know if I mentioned that, but this is my longer piece. So this is your leftovers. I'm going to tie an end to it. There we go again. I just looped it over and I created a knot. See that? So again, all I really care about is that I have a loop. You could do all kinds of loops. You could do a bowline or something like that. You could do anything you wanted to and create a loop. But this is the easiest one. This is the one I teach in my class because everyone knows how to do an overhand knot. Okay, so let's go to the tree now. Okay, again, I'm making it very simple for you. Now you have this is your long cord. So this is all your leftover paracord here. And at the end of it, you tied a loop. You're gonna wrap that around the tree. See how now my loop is now around the tree. So now I'm going to create another loop, but I'm not tying a knot on it. I'm just going to create another loop, and I'm going to stick it through the hole. I'm going to grab one of my sticks that I have and stick it through, and then I'm going to cinch down. I pull this way, pull that way, pull this way, pull that way. Eventually it gets tight. Make sense? So now I have a stick, and now I have a pretty strong hold. This thing is not going to fall through itself. I'll do it one more time. I wrapped it around the tree. There's my loop. And then I stick this loop inside my loop. See that? Stick it inside the loop. Then I stick my toggle in there, or my stick. And then I just kind of pull it and pull it and pull it. There we go, until it's really tight. Okay, so that's not gonna fall apart. And I didn't have to create really a really fancy knot or anything like that. So that's what I like about this. So now that I have that, I'm gonna go to the other side, to the other tree, and I'm gonna walk down there. But I'm gonna hold onto this. I don't wanna let go of it, because if I let go of it, it starts loosening and the toggle or the stick can fall through. So I hold on to it. Okay? Now just so you know, you could do this at home. I've done this at home. With chairs and stuff like that, just to practice. Okay, I'm gonna walk all the way to the other tree now. Okay, now that I'm at the other tree, get my rope out here. Okay, I'm gonna go around the tree. I'm gonna put a lot of tension on it, and I'm gonna go around the tree, and then I'm gonna loop either over or under. It really doesn't matter, you guys. Doesn't matter. In this case, I'm gonna loop over. Take my remaining, pull on it, pull on it. You want this to be really tight, like you're playing an instrument. And then you're gonna wrap back around the tree. Got that? I'm gonna do that one more time. Okay, I'm on from the other end, which has my stick in it, my toggle. I'm gonna pull on it really hard. I'm gonna wrap around the tree. This time I'm gonna go, maybe I'll just do the same thing. I'm gonna go over it, and I'm putting all my remaining paracord there. Okay, I'm going over it, gonna flip under like that, and wrap around the tree. Got it? So let me show you what it should look like. See what it looks like? Let me pull up. That's what it should look like. Just like that. Okay. This is the trickiest knot of all of them. The next knot I'm going to show you. Okay, let's see. In my class, we were trying to come up with some fun names for this. You're going to create a loop. Again, I'm holding pretty tight here, okay? So I don't want to let go. I'm creating a loop. I think we called it the dog. You're creating the loop, or the dog. The dog is gonna flip over, so you're gonna have a little twist to that loop. Okay, and then you're gonna pull through that loop, it's kind of hard to show, on that dog's tail and pull, just like that. Now I kind of did that kind of fast. You kind of have to do it fast in order to keep that tension on that line. So let me do it again, and I'll see if I lose a little tension. That's not a big deal, because I'm just trying to show you right now. Okay, we're gonna create the loop. Here's the dog. The dog flips over, so there's a little twist right here. That's what you're looking for, a little twist. And then you have this other loop underneath it, and you're gonna grab the tail, which is your remaining paracord that's hanging down from the tree. A twist, and grab that tail, and you're gonna pull. Now when you pull, you wanna pull that way. So a lot of times in my class, the girls were pulling, and let me show you what happened when they were pulling the wrong way. They twisted it, they pulled the tail, and they pulled the wrong way. And see this now? So you really, when you do it, I'm gonna make it tight again. You twist it. I'm showing you like 5 times, because this is the hardest knot. You're gonna grab the tail, and you pull towards the line. You wanna pull that way. Got it? There we go. Very nice and neat. Now, if you want, you can put another stick through here, and whoops, put another stick through there and close it down. I usually don't. I don't know, I usually don't put a stick there. There's a lot of times what I'll do is, let me get this stick out here. What I'll do is I'll make the loop just a little bit bigger, and then I might just tie just another little overhand knot to secure it on there. Okay, hit replay if you need to. That is the hardest knot I'm going to teach you. And it's not really that hard, you know. Don't be overwhelmed. You can do this. I know you can. Okay. So I'm just going to make sure it's really tight because I was showing and demonstrating and stuff. So I'm just going to do it fast really one more time. Make sure it's really tight so we can move to the next step. Now I've done this so many times that I don't even have to think about it, you know. Okay, so it's really nice and tight. There's a couple times where I've had to like retie it, but the good part of this is that you only have to tighten one end of your paracord. I don't have to go to that end to tighten it. I just go to this end to tighten it. That one is secure with my stick in it. This is the end that if anything's going to happen, this is the end that's going to go bad. Okay, so practice that knot. That is your toughest one. Now let's go to the paracord, or let's go to that tarp. You guys remember that foot long 4 pieces that I had you cut? This is where we use this, okay? For every one of those 4, this is what I want you to do. We're just gonna create another loop. Pretty simple, just like we did on the ridge line, the first knot we ever did. We're gonna do the same thing. All I care about is the loop, okay? So you do it whichever way you want. I just do an overhand, stick it through itself. There you go, it's just a regular knot that we learned in kindergarten. There we go. So that way I have a loop. Again, that's all I'm looking for is just this loop. I don't care how you get this knot together, but I'm looking for that. I'm going to do it one more time. Sorry, I keep looking at my screen too, so I want to make sure that everything is in there. Okay, there's our 1 foot cut paracord. I fold it on itself and I just create, trying to go slow, and I put it through. It's just an overhand knot. You see that? So all it is a knot at the bottom. And again, if you have really a tough time doing this, again, all I care about is the loop. Okay, so all I want is the loop. So you're gonna do that with all of yours, okay? So do that with all 4 of your cords that I had you cut. Okay, this is the reason why I like this tarp that I recommended, that I put a link to below, is that it has these little, what are they called, rivets? I think these are rivets. They have these little rivets throughout the tarp. I really like that because it has one right in the middle. So when you buy a tarp, look for that, because if you don't have one of those in the middle, you actually have to put like a little ball here, or like a rock or something, and then twist something around. It's really a pain. So just take my advice and make sure that you have a rivet that goes in the middle, that not only the 4 corners, okay? Okay, so with one of your 1 foot pieces, what I want you to do is that we're gonna put it on this little rivet hole. So we're gonna stick it in there. I see how I just stuck it through. That's all I did. I just stuck it through, and then I'm gonna put this tail, doesn't matter which one actually, but I'm gonna put this tail through that and pull. That's all I'm gonna do. So that way I got, see, it's just put on there. A lot of you guys probably already know that. I don't think that's a knot. I'm just showing you how to do it. I'll do it one more time. I stuck it through the rivet, stuck it through the whole thing, and then I stick it through itself. Maybe my sunglasses is getting bright out. My eyes are watering. Okay, see that? And then again, all I care about is that little loop. Got it? So you're gonna do that with the middle ones. So again, this tarp is like a square, let's say. So on the ones in the middle are the ones that you do this with. So the ones that we're going to put, and it's gonna make more sense once you see it up and on the ridge line, okay? And the ridge line is what we just did. We just created that ridge line. Okay, this knot is actually called something. This is called the prusik knot, if I pronounced that right. Again, you have your 4 pieces. You have your 4 pieces tied, so all I have is a loop. What you're gonna do is that you're going to, let's say we're gonna place it on it, just like that. We're gonna put it through. We're gonna go through once, dive through twice, and then pull down. Just make sure it's really nice and neat over here. Now, what I notice is that when I have a ridge line, which is my ridge line, when my ridge line's the same size as my prusik knots, it slides really easy. I I don't want it to slide very easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just another dive through. So now I have 3. And again, you want to make sure they don't fold on themselves and they look really nice and pretty. This is why you want it to be at least a foot long, and then look at that. See how that is a nice break on my ridge line? That's what we want. But then I can also loosen it a little bit and I can slide it if I want. Okay? So you're going to put 2 of these on your ridge line. So go ahead and do that and put 2 of these on your ridge line. Okay, now I have 2 of them. So now all of your paracord should be used right now. You got the 2 that are on your tarp, so you got them on either end of your tarp. And you have the 2 that are on the ridge line. Okay, so that's all 4 of those ones that you cut. Got it? Okay, now let's go get our tarp. So in my class, some of the ladies did have a little problem with this, so I'm just going to go over it a couple times. You're going to grab one of those sticks I was talking about. You're going to stick this through that little hole. See that? You see it's through the, I'm trying to see if it's actually in focus on my camera. So you stuck it through the hole. Then you're going to take that stick and you're going to stick it through. And what it's going to do, it's going to block it from coming out. You got that? So now it won't come out. I'm going to do it again so you can see it. So here's my pressic nut. See that? I'm going to stick that through just like that. And then I'm going to put my stick inside there. What I want it to do is I don't want it to fall through that hole again. That's my whole purpose of that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Is I'm going to take this, put my knot through it, and then add my toggle stick or my stick through the hole. Again, so it doesn't fall through itself. See that? So now I have 2 of them on. Okay, now that I have them, I can slide the tarp. And then if I want to, I can make it tighter. And now I can't slide them. Oh, that one's looped over. See that? Now they're nicely tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide them apart. This is a really good test because there's a huge rainstorm coming our way. So it's going to get really windy right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, this is the main part. This is the hardest part right here, is getting that ridge pole on and getting those toggles in there. So, whew, it's getting really windy. So the easy part is actually strapping it down, and you can strap it down any way you want, but I'm going to show you anyways how I do it, and then you can decide which way that you want to do it as well. So I can secure it to the ground by either stakes. I can put a stick in the ground, I can secure it, or I can secure it to another tree, which is what I'm going to show you. Okay, I'm going to use the same knot that I did before on the ridge line. I'm going to go around the tree. I'm going to go over the line. And then I'm going to pull so it's tight. Then I'm going to create my loop. Flip the dog and grab the tail. And then I'm going to pull. Again, I'm going to pull that way. So now it's nice. And you can hit rewind to see that again. But that's kind of what it looks like pulling on the tarp. And I'm going to do the same thing for that end. Okay, I have a stick in the ground. I have it at an angle because it's really hard ground here. So what I'm going to do is, I don't really care how you tie that on, that doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to loop it around it, is all I'm going to do, because it just makes it easy for undoing it. And then I just tie just a simple overhand knot over here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. The knots I did right here on all 4 corners is just a simple overhand knot. Nothing, I just put it through and just tied a couple knots on it. On the next side I put that stick, there's a stick. On the next side I put the stick right there, again at an angle, and then I looped around it and just tied a simple overhand knot. And so now I have it on both sides that way. So now you'll see Rocky underneath our tarp. He is prepared for the rain if the rain were to come. Looking pretty comfy there. Looking a little too comfy, Rocky's. Not too bad. A lot of times I do this with my tarps. I'll have one side that's lower, another side that's up. Because the wind is coming this direction, if that makes sense, I'm trying to do my finger. So that blocks the wind just a little bit, but I could make it closer to the ground. I could do a lot of things with tarps. Tarps are a lot of fun to play with, so I recommend buying one and just trying all different ways in which you could do a tarp. I'll just kind of circle around a little bit. It's perfect timing because there's a storm coming. So again, that's the brand name of the tarp that I was using. I really like this tarp. It's a cheap tarp. It doesn't last very long though, so keep in mind for that, because I do have one of these up in my kitchen area, but I am using it all the time, and now it's finally starting to leak. So, but it still kind of keeps you away from the wet a little bit. But as for a cheaper tarp, I think this tarp does really well. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this episode of how to put up a tarp. And hopefully it's really easy for you guys. This is what I teach in my wilderness classes. If you're interested in my wilderness classes, check out my website at spiritforestbear.com. I have about 8 students a year, and I would love to have you join. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.